Thank you for watching News Echoes. I'm so glad you are here this morning with us again. We have so many things lined up for you. How about Nigeria versus UK? And Nigeria is shouting hallelujah. Now we can travel again as we used to do. And Britain is saying hallelujah, how we can make more money. We shall be dealing with the Omicron, UK, and Nigeria. But in the studio with me, I have, as usual, our internal researcher, Ambassador Nat Iyako. Ambassador Nat, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you.
We also have all the way from Milan, Mark Godwin. Mark in Milan, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Ambassador Nat. Good morning, Dr. Shagun.
Yes, it's a good day here in London. I understand there have been some rumbling in Italy, but I don't have the specifics right now. But before we go into the rumbles in Italy, let's look at the rumbles between UK and Nigeria. Many of us know that the United Kingdom banned Nigerians and Nigerian flights into the UK and claiming that it was because they might have brought Omicron. But Omicron says, no, we are right in here. Why are you banning all Nigerians from coming in? And in any case, you did not ban any Omicron immigrant from Europe. Why are you banning Omicron immigrant from Nigeria? It appears it was a ding-dong affair. Nigeria promised to ban all flights from United Kingdom, and within 24 hours, the British government changed its mind and said that is it. It appears that the Nigerians are not the ones bringing Omicron after all. But must it be said that Nigeria and South Africa were united in condemning the British government in stopping their flights into the United Kingdom? They said it was a case of sabotage. But let me give it to our in-house researcher to give us background and projection of this. Ambassador now, what do you see into all of these diplomatic wranglings and economic jingoism, if I may put it that
way? or diplomatic maneuvering. The COVID-19 is getting to 2 years now since it's been declared as a pandemic, and it's wreaked a lot of havoc on the human race. Our supply and logistics challenges, health challenges, and every other thing COVID-19 has touched. Everything you can think of, it touched. But the latest one now, the variant called Omicron, is just 1 or 2 months old, and it's also gone around the whole world, touching here and there. And when Canada now said last week or so that there were 2 cases and the cases can be traced to Nigeria, UK latched on instead of the usual scientific investigation to get the facts and the figures. The UK just declared 11 countries on their red list, and all the 11 countries are from the continent of Africa, none from Europe, none from America, none from Asia, and not from the Far East. And so it became a very serious challenge for those 11 countries. And they had to sorosoke. They had to talk.
For those viewers listening, sorosoke means speak out. Okay, go ahead.
You speak out loud and clear with strong emphasis. You cannot do this to us. You have no scientific right to do this to us. And so that loud voice and loud bang got the attention of the not only even the British government, but even the WHO said this was travel appetite. And for anybody to be described with those words is damaging and is unfortunate. And so the UK red list quickly had to turn to not only amber, but green light. And so from 4 a.m. today, the red list has been scrapped. And those who couldn't travel from those 11 countries now have the green light to travel. But some of them have missed their flights with so many social and economic consequences. We want to believe that this is a statement from Nigeria, a statement from the African continent, that this is the 21st century. You cannot go and bring out race discriminatory policies and call them a different name. This is where we are, and we will look forward to a robust relationship in the future.
Okay, I'm coming back to you on this matter, but let me welcome Dr. Osita Anyemeka, all the way in our capital, amiable capital, Abuja. Dr. Osita, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr.
Welcome,
Chauvin.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'm glad to be
here.
here.
We love to see you all the time, and your intellectual contribution goes beyond the boundaries. Let me just ask you, do you think from what happened in the last 48 hours between the UK and the Nigerian government, do you see it as a victory for Nigeria, Nigeria being a big brother to the rest of the African continent? Or you see it like, well, the British have weighed things and it's like, look, we're losing money, let's go and make more money. They will be cheering us up while we are making the money. Dr. Osita, how do you see all this saga?
I think it's a good development that they have rescinded the decision on the red list. But I also think that it is not yet uhuru, because some Nigerians were found in the UK at the point of entry, and they found that the certificates they were traveling with were fake. The first certificates they were traveling with were fake. And then they held them on and called the agency in Nigeria to say, please, let's see, give us the list of vaccinated people. Let's see if you can cross-check, because the guys claim that they were vaccinated. And they said to them, we don't have the technical capacity to share that database. So if you were the UK, there are people at your point of entry, the country from where they are coming, says that they cannot clear that, and that they don't even have a list of vaccinated people. That was the cause of the ban in the first place. So my question now is, have we, by any standard, reached a stage where it's not just UK now, it's any other country, even if it's Togo or Ghana, next door Sierra Leone, will say to us in Nigeria, can we have your database? My vaccination card has a code. It has a barcode. When you scan it, you see my name on it. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
Yes,
so
yes.
Well, is that anywhere I am in the world, they scan that barcode. It's my name, my age, my my country, even the place where it was given, the name of the vaccine, yes, and the code of the center, just like a travel passport. But the problem is that most Nigerians traveling don't even have it. So the beauty of our program is that we come from all sides. I am very happy that they've rescinded. I'm happy that I might be able to travel. But the issue is, do we have all the standards in place for Nigerians to go back and forth?
Well, you mentioned Ghana there, Doctor. You mentioned Ghana. Ghana, the way they treated us when the British government has banned us was unbelievable. The Ghanaian government banned all the Nigerian travelers. As soon as they landed at Kotoka, they banned them somewhere and said, we're going to test you again to see whether you have antibodies in you, whether you show any paper or not. And it's going to cost you some money. So all Nigerians were now tested, and they found that 30% of them have not taken the jab. And so they were immediately quarantined in a place for $90 per night, and there were no questions. So that Ghana really maltreated us, if that is what I mean, it went viral the way Ghanaians treated us. And like you rightly say, does it mean that due to our obstinacy with corruption, will we continue to be treated like this? Is that what they want to? Is that the level we want to be? And it's shameful that our corruption knows no band. But that as it may be, corruption is everywhere. Well, we don't have to go with it. Ambassador Nat, I have another question for you. Nigerians are saying uhuru, uhuru, but is it really victory? Because is Nigeria going to profit from this recession, the resigning of the directive, or Britain is going to make more money?
Well, the issue is not even the money. The issue is national pride, integrity. Who are we as Nigerians, where we even carry the green passport and cross the borders? How do people look at us? So I think that is the beginning. We are pride that COVID has come and COVID will go, Omicron will go. But what is who are you? How do you present yourself to the world? Can they trust you? Can they have confidence with you? Can they do business with you? These are the major questions we need to address.
Yes, listen to this young man. This was a young man all the way from the USA. Of course, he has a dark skin color, and he has this word of pride. I've asked that this be played so that this is the sense of pride we're talking about. Studio, over to you. I hope everybody had the sound. Ambassador, now
No,
you did not have the sound.
and I didn't have the sound.
Okay, but you saw the pictures.
Yeah, the pictures and the inscription above the picture.
Yeah, studio, is it possible we have the sound, or because I didn't hear the sound in London, but our studio is in Italy. So, studio, is it possible we have the sound, or we should just move on? It appears that the sound. Okay, we still don't get the sound. Studio, please work on the sound while we move on. Thank you. Well, it appears we'll get you the sound because there are so many issues we want to discuss today. Ambassador Nat, you've been an ambassador for Nigeria at a time, and how do we interpret this as as part of our new Nigerian foreign policy, with the scuffle we had with the British government, with the British government not considering the shouts of South Africa because President Ramaphosa said, this is not right. You are banning us, punishing us for nothing. They did not listen. Ramaphosa went to Nigeria, and Nigeria supported South Africa and Ramaphosa and condemned the British activity of banning these 6,000 African countries then. Now, by the time Nigeria now say, fine, you want a fight, we give you a fight. And the British government now look for a face-saving way and say, well, Omicron is here anyway, we might as well just remove it, it's not working. Now, is this a new foreign policy showing up for Nigeria? Because we know that Nigeria in the last 20 or 30 odd years have no distinct foreign policy, and we've been shouting, what is the Nigerian foreign policy? We remember when the Nigerian foreign policy was in 2 words, anti-apartheid. Since the apartheid was removed from South Africa, at least from the books, we have not seen any Nigerian foreign policy distinctively. Is this a new Nigerian foreign policy standing up against the West?
Well, strictly speaking, in international diplomacy, this is not a new thing. It just coming in a different form and shape. Because in international relations, all nations are equal. The nation of the Gambia has one seat. Southern Sudan has 1 seat, and there's the game of you are equal, but it will not depend upon each country. Each country's carrying capacity. How do you carry yourself? What is your courage? How do you demonstrate to the world who you are? Because all international diplomacies start from each country. What political power have you? What economic power have you? Can you present yourself to the world as somebody that can be relied upon? Are you transparent? Are you truthful? So these are the things. How do your citizens behave outside or even outside? So these are things that come into consideration. So, but again, as I said, the diplomacy of each country varies. There's a domestication of what is happening in your country and how do you portray yourself outside. So really, the United Nations Charter on Equality of Nations have not changed. It is the nations that have changed. It is the way of the projection of their image that has changed.
Okay, thank you very much for that information. Now, our domestic policies are not particularly strategic. Our security, our economy, they are not well laid out and they're not sustainable. Look at the level of insecurity and look at our economy depending on one product for money. When we look at all of this, it has not given us a good footing to be able to stand against international powers like the great powers, and they've not been able to put us permanently in the Security Council representing Africa because we can't even have electric power in our country. How then can we talk of nuclear power? How then can we be able to justify a regional power position among the Committee of Nations? And these have affected our foreign policy. In fact, as at the moment, Nigeria does not have a distinct foreign policy. What do you think we can do? Is it not a charity begins at homes that we look, let's be serious. If people are going to take us seriously, they let our home be solid. China did it for 50 years. They were not participating outside of their country. They were trying to get their home settled. Today, it has paid off. Is this something that we need to start seriously thinking about? Foreign policies, international relations, and how we stand up to the rest of the world?
Thank you very much for that question. The issue is African countries, Nigeria, we have not had any stable foreign policy. It has depended on the whims and caprices of the government in power. And they will have seen individual heads of state and president personalizing this foreign policy. And when you mention those regimes outside, they all think that is your foreign policy. At one time, we were talking of non-aligned nations. We are not East, we are not West. And then we will not talk of economic diplomacy. and then we come to person-to-person diplomacy.
They call it personal diplomacy, and I laughed. I've never heard anything like that before in your life. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So that is what it has come to. What do you have to show for ease from your country? What economic power do you have? What social power do you have? What influence, political influence, do you carry as a nation? And how do your representatives behave outside the country? And at one time we say, oh, Africa is the centerpiece of our foreign policy, but you notice we are tearing each other apart even in Africa and even in your individual countries. So it's as good as saying we don't really have any stable. We don't have a foreign policy. It's whatever comes we take.
It's a shame that we don't have a foreign policy, and we have been saying it again and again. And the response of the federal government has been, oh, let's put a group together. They have put so many groups together who should give us a blueprint on the Nigerian foreign policy, and it has never come to pass.
You see, we also had individual foreign affairs ministers who have distinguished themselves on the international political scene. You know, Bolaji Akiyemi, Professor Bolaji Akiyemi.
I remember him very well.
Yeah, nobody can push him aside.
He was the advocate of regional power for Nigeria, I recall.
Yeah. We had people like General Ike Nwachukwu, who was foreign affairs minister one time.
You remember people like Joseph Garba.
Joseph Garba, may his soul rest in peace. Who had that clout, he had that charisma and courage. That whatever he said,
and elocution. It was very.
Whatever I said in the international scene or in any meeting, they'll take Nigeria seriously.
He delivered his message with eloquence, you know.
Yes.
So, but we don't. But beyond personal traits, what is wrong with the Nigerian government that we cannot all say this is what we stand for? This is our foreign policy when we are dealing with other countries. This is the underlying reason. Why is it that we cannot articulate it in one sentence, in one paragraph? This is what we stand. At least the United States today will say we are the police of the world. You mess up, we put you in shape. Simple. You don't love us. We are not asking you to love us, but just respect us. Full stop. You know where they stand.
Since we don't have a coherent foreign policy, if you don't have a coherent foreign policy, then there's something fundamentally wrong. But what do you carry to the whole world? How do you portray when you can't give something you don't have? And so, but at the same time, other African countries are looking up onto Nigeria. Let Mandela, may so rest in peace. He says, if Nigeria makes it, Africa will make it. If we don't, Africa is doomed. And so that is the position.
That statement has proved itself in this Nigeria-UK saga. When Nigeria stood up to UK, we saw the UK giving up and rescinding its decision. But I would want us to now use the same vibrance to repair our country and to show that, yes, it's not only in the international scene we can make noise, we can also use it to get our security right, get our economy right, not rely on one product. Dr. Osita, I was just saying that in this same kind of stature that we used in the last 48 hours, why can't we use it into security at home and into economy? Because if I were a British government official, I'll be laughing at Nigeria. Fine, we have considered this one, but look at your insecurity. 1/3 of your country is not under your presidency. Your economy is only mono. If you remove oil today, you are nowhere to be found. You have so many people, you don't give them jobs. And your country is just up and down with bandits and armed robbery. I will be laughing at the Nigerian government. Yes, in the international scene, You have a big clout because of your 200 million plus, because of the oil money, but you are hollow. How do we transpose? How can we make Nigeria now to be solid, Dr. Osita? You are on the ground.
Yeah, thank you. It's this is amazing that we're talking about this today, because only last 2 days ago, some of my friends, some of my colleagues, they called me, and the same question, not just the way you asked it, is in another way asking, why is leadership so difficult in Nigeria? And my simple question is, why do you think it's difficult? It's difficult because we can't change. Dr. Shegun, we can't
Yes,
change.
I'm listening.
Yes, we can't change. The difficulty we have in our psyche is lack of capacity to change.
Please make it plain. To change from where to where? Because you are talking of change from something to another.
Nobody.
Go ahead, please.
You know, this is not working out well. Let's do something else. And the reason is that we always pass the blame. We always pass the buck. Even the man in office as president will tell you that it's one minister. You know, he's ultimate person. Yes, it is one minister. It is one special advisor. It is one whatever. He is the man. He will tell you it is the legislature. He signs these bills into law. He is the one who should take account. You know, who becomes accountable for everything. He has never apologized one day for anything his government has done wrong. He doesn't have the language. So what you're looking at, and it didn't start with him. Let's not push it wrongly. What I'm saying in effect is that if we want change to happen, if we want leadership to be right, you know, we can actually create alternatives.
Yeah.
By way of sacrifice, alternative for education, alternative for sports, alternative for whatever, and then stay with it until it works. Or government will not change. Let me also mention to you for now is that connectivity has not been right. Connectivity has been so bad in the last 4 days. You know why? Nobody is asking the service providers questions. And you know why? Right. Because the service providers take care of National Assembly. They buy themselves iPhones and give them what they call airtime that is perpetual. They never have to purchase airtime.
So they can't query them.
No, they can't query them. That's the issue. And we need them to get angry and come on this platform and deny what we're saying, because this is what it's all about. That's the issue.
I think we need to invite a senator and a House of Rep to ask them.
Absolutely. Even if we start from the House of Assembly first, you know, let's keep bringing them until bring them, you know, to the board here to answer questions.
I think we need to do that. Most of them are junior to us in age, so they are junior to us in stature and in rank. But I'm not lying.
No, you're not lying. Of course.
In stature and in rank, we should bring them.
Of course.
And so I mean, the Nigerians say there are sizes in shoes, so everyone knows his own size. Anyway, one other thing before we go on a short break is that you said something about change. That change is a concept that I think we need to discuss very well, because without change, there'll be no transformation. We need to move from where we are to a new place. Let me just close up this segment with this one. A young man was told by a Japanese diplomat in Lagos. He said the problem with the Nigerian mentality is that we call it our Nigerian thing. The diplomat was saying the roads on Victoria Island are with potholes, and this is supposed to be a choice area of Nigeria. Why do we have all these potholes? And the Nigerian young man said, that is the Nigerian factor. Why are you complaining? And the Japanese man said, but why do you Nigerians not want to believe that there are better ways that you can do things and you can get better results? Yeah. And why do you think you have to succumb to this is the Nigerian way of doing things? You want to get a legitimate business done, and they ask for a bribe. Instead of you to say, no, I'm not bribing, you say, well, let's bribe them. It's the Nigerian way of doing things. Why do you take the negative one as the only way in Nigeria? Can't you just think that there is a better way? Well, we go on a short break. When we return, we'll be looking at state of insecurity on a personal issue. People who have been raped and they are now coming out and say their government has let them down. Don't go away while we go on a short break. Welcome back. We'll still need to fix that sound from the studio, but we'll continue. I'm glad to have you on the second segment. There is this video that has gone viral and is about a journalist, well-known journalist in Nigeria, Zainab Ahmed is her name, and she said, this is a killer. So many people raped a colleague of hers, a relative of hers, and said, no, this is gone beyond belief. Even with that sound, I don't know if the studio can give us that video. Many people must have seen it because it's gone viral. Well, you can take it off because it appears we will not get. Yes. Well, I want to see if Ambassador Nat, are you hearing the voice? Any sound from you?
I'm hearing the sound, but the speech is not coordinated.
Okay, you can't hear it from my mobile phone. Video subscribe. Can you hear it from my mobile phone?
Yeah, I'm hearing from the mobile phone.
This government, never came muku. Me yasa ba za ku kawo mana dauki ba? A dauki uwar mutum. A yi rabin dinta. Masa takwas. A kashe ta. A aika wa 'ya'yanta bidiyo. Wani irin zalunci kuke mana a ƙasar nan? Wani irin zalunci kuke mana a ƙasar nan? Ya kuke iya kwanciya ku yi bacci? Da hakokinmu da yake kanku. Kun yi alkawari za ku kawo mana tsaro. Ku bar mu da yunwa da kuka kawo mana ƙasa. Kullum mutuncin mu ake ci. Kullum tozanci muke gani. Tun ana yi a nesa na zuwa kusa da mu. Ya ilahi ne kuke so mu yi muku. Laifin mai arewa ta yi muku. Laifin mai arewa suka yi muku. Laifi ne da muka fito muka zaɓe ku. Laifi ne da muka fito muka bi bayan ku. Laifin me muka yi muku. Baba Buhari ne muka yi maka. Baba Buhari ne ya sa ka tsana arewa. Baba Buhari ne mata arewa suka yi maka kake bari ake cin zarafin su. Baba Buhari ne arewa ta yi maka baba. Baba arewa ta ka kawo ka mulki baba. Baba arewa ta ka mai da kai.
Ambassador Nat, please help us make head of what she's saying. She's speaking in Hausa. Who is this lady? We all know her, but introduce her to us again and tell us what she's been saying in English.
Dr. Johnson, there that I have noticed that there is a little bit of discrepancy.
Okay.
If we're hearing, is it Zainab Ahmed or Zainab or Kadiria Ahmed? Because the picture I'm seeing, the photograph I'm seeing, is a woman that looks like her.
Okay.
But that is not Kadiria Ahmed.
Okay, fair enough. But what's this woman saying?
What this woman is saying is that the northern women, and I'm sure by implication, women in Nigeria are not being adequately protected by the federal government of Nigeria. But most especially, Muhammadu Buhari, who is president, who is from the north, is not protecting the women of the north. They are being raped, they are being molested, they have been disparaged, but the government seems to be doing nothing. And so she's appealing that Buhari should come out and protect the women. She's the president of Nigeria. The women voted for him, and so he should be seen to be attending to the challenges the women are facing and the general society is facing.
Again and again, she's shouting, Baba Buhari, Baba Buhari, Baba Buhari, do something. I mean, that's the way we see it. Let's ask the man on the ground. Dr. Osita, is it not, are we not to the end of the world? I mean, we lost our conscience? Have we lost human feeling that our women, our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, aunties, they are being raped? Not to talk of the killings, they are being raped. I mean, is this how we should be living?
No, this is not how we should be living. I mean, you got that right. Completely right. This is not how we should be living. And like Ambassador Nat said, that's not Zainab. We don't know who this is. But whoever she is, she's saying the same thing that the lady in my house would say. The same thing that the lady on the street would say. That means that they are crying for help. Crying for help means that there is something wrong somewhere. So yes, if we should get it right, if we get it better, we just jubilated now. We were just jubilating that we have been brought back. That the red list, has been cancelled. Yes. This is the kind of euphoria that we expect to follow us. But if after you dance in the streets, you haven't been been allowed to travel, you come home and your mother is on the floor crying that someone has just been raped in your family. I mean, the crisis continues. So yes, we need security. We need to be guided well, and we need to be guarded well, and then we also need everybody else who is there, who has the power to do something, to stop looking at people that have assigned you to do it right. Do it right first, so that we'll be saying that yes, he did it right. That was why something happened to him. But
I want to ask you a question. Is it that the government officials, let's leave Buhari out of this one. Let's talk about his cabinet ministers, his supporters, special assistants. Is it because who are really moving things? Is it that they are deaf, or they just lack the capacity? Ambassador Nat.
Well, you see, again, the way Buhari is running his government, federal government, state government, and local government, but his ministers, the other time we were saying that these ministers most of them were handpicked by Buhari, and 70% of them are related to him, blood relation, one way or the other. And so and then Buhari has barricaded himself in the villa, so that having access to him to give sound advice and truthful advice is not there. In those days when Abba Kyari was alive, the buck seems to have been stopping on his table. Some of these things don't even get to the president. The chief of staff in the villa seems to take control of things, and Buhari has delegated his authority and responsibility to Garuba and Femi Adesina and some of few ministers.
Okay, let me stop you there. We have Garuba Shehu, we have Femi Adesina, we have Boss Mustafa, we have Gambari. Let us, and Malami, let us say those five are the closest making things happen for Nigeria because Buhari is out of the scene. I just believe Buhari is not in the scene. They will just report to him what he wants to hear. He doesn't read the newspaper. He doesn't, so he only hears what they want him to. Let's say these five people are the ones running Nigeria. Are they deaf or they have no conscience? Dr. Osita, is a hypothetical case now because we cannot hold Buhari because he's not running. We know he's not running. Those who are running, those five people, are they deaf or they have no conscience?
No. Dr. Shegu, they are not deaf and they have conscience. The only problem is that they are in the opposite direction of convention. They have an orchestra that is playing, they dance to that music. They are paid pipers. So someone paying them call the tunes. But the very bad part of it is that people are dying. People are hungry. People are eating what fight themselves on the streets because of what we're talking about now. So yeah, those people, they are there, but they work for the government. Their wealth and their future.
We seem to have lost Dr. Sita again. That's what happens in Nigeria. Let me check Mark Godwin in Milan, if he can come in at this juncture. Mark, what is wrong with us in Nigeria? Let us say Buhari is running it, then he's a failure. But let us, excuse me, take Buhari out of the equation. Those who are running it, his cabinet ministers, including Yemi Osinbajo, and then if you want to bring special assistants like Dabiri, like Shehu Garuba, like Femi Adesina, Malami, let us say they are the ones pulling the strings, and coupled with some businessmen and some allegis we don't even know. Now let us say those are the ones shaking Nigeria. Doesn't mean they don't know that their women are being raped, their men are being killed, and that there are bandits that have taken over the country. Don't they know that 1/3 of the northern Nigeria has been taken by foreigners? Is that what they're saying?
They know, Dr. Shagun. Everybody has been giving great insights. They know, but like Dr. Osita said, they are playing to the music on what is on ground. So they just.
So who is the orchestra? Are they not the orchestra and the dancers? They are the orchestra and the dancers. They change the tune of the music.
Yes, but you see, they have interest in everything. So talking on some of these issues might pull out what they gain from their interests. So it's like a fool's paradise, you know. Everybody's just following a pattern that takes to nowhere. And what might eventually happen, we don't know. It might be some real disaster. So we are seeing the northern women, north of Nigeria women, crying out now, coming out now. They too should have done this earlier. They are coming out now because situation has really gotten out of control. But this has been happening long ago. Dr. Ambassador Nat will agree with me. The Haman in the north has been going on long before now. But they all kept silent because they were protecting the what they called northern oligarchy, the northern power base. So, but if we could see people like that video of Kadira Ahmed, if that's Kadira, that means it has come to the situation has come to its wit's end.
Well, I have bad news. I have bad news. It's not only that Zainab Ahmed. Listen to this one. Listen to what this woman say again.
The Yom Al-Qiyamah. Allah ina gana gan shi when I was in captivity. I saw that. I saw horror. I still have nightmares, bad nightmares. Say an rike na har yau har gobe. media. That's why I'm here. But wallahi tallahi, if you have not been through what we've been through, a lot of us that have been in captivity and been raped multiple times by terrorists, you would not know. You would not know the pain. You would not know the agony. Nobody stood. Nobody believed me. Nobody said anything. Nobody helped me. No one. No one. And that's what's happening right now to our children. That's what's happening right now to our children. They're being killed. Nobody's believing them. Nobody's saying anything. I'm angry. Nobody's accepting any refugee from northern Nigeria. Nobody. I was raped. I was raped. I was raped by terrorists. I was raped. I was naked. I still have marks on my arm. I know what's going on. I know the pain. I know the pain. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha
Oh, please help me make sense out of this. If these people, it's not about insulting President Buhari. It's not about insulting any one of them there. That is not how to go about it. The question is, do they not have conscience? Are they deaf? What you say it is because they are dancing to a music? Can't we change the tune of this music? I will give everyone a chance to speak. Ambassador, you have 1 minute to speak on this one. We go to Dr. Osita, then we go to Mark. I mean, the first time I heard this thing, I was crying. I mean, this woman, no Nigerian woman comes out to say I was raped. It is not in our culture. We don't say it. This woman said I was severally raped, and many women are severally raped by some idiotic bandits. I mean, where is our conscience? Where is our national conscience? Where is our human conscience? When will we do something? The point is that as a state that has a government, they have the power to use naked force against any antisocial activity. It's the only person in Nigeria, the government, that is given power to use a gun against any other person. No other person has that power to even own a gun, talk less of using it. So if the people given the power to use naked force has gone conscienceless, Ambassador Nat.
Well, this is sad, this is embarrassing and very, very unfortunate. But it might shock some of us that some of the things happening behind the scene are worse than these women who are coming to cry out in the public. And it seems our people at the high echelon of government society are perpetuating this evil. But because they have an environment where they misbehave and nobody knows, then we want to think that what this woman is saying is true and nothing but the truth. But worst things are happening. Our moral base has been debased, has been destroyed. And these are some of the things we are seeing today in the public.
Dr. Osita in Abuja, how do you feel sleeping at night when we hear this? How do you feel having some of them as your friends or even enemies, and yet we can sleep?
No, you are going too far. How do I feel knowing that a member of my family might just become a victim?
That's the point. Thank you.
That's the point. You know, it's not friend, it's not far away, it's not colleague. I mean, even my child.
Oh, you see?
The point, yes, the point is when there's a cry everywhere, everybody runs to that direction because it might just be your child. And believe me, there is no safe haven. This is not joking anymore. There is no place where you say is safe, because I just read now that the Sultan of Sokoto escaped through the window. This is about 24 hours old story, Mr. Massive. The Sultan escaped through the window from bandits. Come on now. Sultan is
Sokoto.
Yeah, he's a first-class citizen.
The number one Muslim man in Nigeria.
That is the man who holds religion in Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, West Africans respect him. So we're not talking about if I hear whatever. It could just be my family. It could just be my children. So to answer your question, how do I feel? I don't sleep anymore because that next cry could just be my child.
Yeah, and how does the government feel that they're not taking stringent measures? How
Come
do
on
don't
now,
they feel?
Dr. Shegun, you live in the UK, you're talking about government. Come on, we're talking about this all the time now. There's no government.
Oh.
There's no government.
Thank
See,
you,
let's
Mark.
let's be very honest. Just one sentence. Where there is government with conscience, everything you say will go into a diary. So that when there's a review of situation, they check through it and say, and then somebody will have. It's not happening yet.
It's not happening. Oh, Mark in Milan is a question of bringing our conscience to forefront. How do you feel?
And Dr. Shegun, sadly, or do I say, fortunately, Nigerian government spent, on the defense ministry and the security angle spent billions bringing in fighter jets, Tucanos. I mean, those fighter jets, like I follow, back in the days when I was in school, I followed some of these aircraft, we studied their function. Those aircraft the federal government spent money on are top line aircraft to fight insurgents, to fight terrorists, wherever they may be. So I don't know why they brought in those things and they are not using them. And so much money went to buying those things. But they are all lying there fallow, or probably they don't know how to use them. I don't know. But those equipments, those aircraft are very expensive. So why is the government spending so much money on acquiring equipments and things to fight the insurgents, and still the insurgents are waxing stronger every day?
And how can President Buhari how can he defend when he was sworn in to defend the integrity of the Nigerian territory? That's the first thing he was asked to do when he was being sworn in, to defend the integrity of the Nigerian territory. How is he feeling right now that under his watch, a third of the northern part of Nigeria are being ruled by other people, and he is okay? And the people are okay. Yemi Oshibajo, what's his name? Fashola, Rotimi Amechi, they're all working, they're still working. How did they feel? Is that not a concerted effort there? Ambassador Nat, let me out, please, because we are talking about serious matters now. Women being, we've even forgotten about the children. The children have been kidnapped. And Ambassador Nat, how many children are still in captivity now? All the Chibok girls, are they free? All the other school girls and the boys, are they free?
Over 1,000 school children are in captivity.
As we speak?
As we speak, yes.
Tell us about Sokoto crisis. What happened in Sokoto a few days ago?
Sokoto State, where Tambo is the governor, they have had an impact of inflow of bandits from Zamfara, because Zamfara has been under heavy bombardment by air power from the Nigerian Air Force and then the ground troops military. And so they have moved into Sokoto State. And last week or thereabout, 30 individual people who are traveling from one part of Sokoto to the other were rounded up by bandits and set ablaze in the vehicle carrying 30 people, 30 Nigerians, and one of them was a pregnant woman. So that is plus one. Were burnt. while the bandits stood looking, more of an entertainment, setting people ablaze. And the governor of Sokoto State, Governor Tambuwal, 2 or 3 days ago, came out and told the whole world that there are 2 governors in Sokoto State. He is one of the governors, and then the leader of the bandits, called Bele Truji of Obru, is in charge of some local governments in Sokoto State. He appoints district heads. He levies taxes on them, and then you cannot go to the farm to harvest your crops until you pay levy. Some of them, some communities have paid ₦1,000,000 to be able to go to their farms, and so many other things happening which sometimes go unreported. So that is what is happening in Sokoto State. And the very sad thing is, whenever there is this type of serious crisis, loss of life and property, the governor leaves his state capital and goes to Abuja to see Mr. President. I don't know what type of governance that is. Yesterday alone, the governors of Sokoto, Nasarawa, and Katsina were in the villa. I mean, to do what? To talk to somebody who is deaf and dumb, or sometimes he is blind, he doesn't see. So these are the things that are happening.
Thank you. Dr. Sita, I come back to you again. You are the man on the ground. How do you feel? I mean, as a responsible Nigerian, a father, a worker, a taxpayer, how do you feel?
Can you say that again, please? Sorry.
I say, what's the mood in Nigeria about responsible citizens seeing all this happening, and they are helpless because they can't even carry a gun, and those who are supposed to carry a gun on behalf of the people, they're not doing anything. How do you? I mean, I feel so unhappy for you guys living in there, and you are just helpless and helpless.
Okay, let me tell you the bad part. The very extremely bad part is that those people who are mistreated, all of us, the ones who have less willpower than we have, also met violence on us.
Oh God.
That is double jeopardy.
Yeah, double, really.
Believe me. In Abuja today, you're walking the streets. The non-bandits who are equally violent can take you in. As a matter of fact, people are suspected now that they've become hawkers. Somebody who normally leave his home in the morning and go do something will not leave his home and kidnap somebody and looking for who to sell the kidnapped victim to.
It has become so industrialized now.
It is called hawking, human hawking.
Human hawking.
They don't even know where to do. They didn't have a plan to do it. They just come, they pick you up and they're asking questions. Do you know anybody who wants anything? Because they are selling for human parts. They're selling for for murder. They're selling for ransom.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Human hawking, abduct a person and sell it.
Yes. I'm market it. Just because there is social media now, everybody does everything else.
So the person who buys it will now determine whether I want to get ransom or I want to sell
from it, or I want to sell a kidney, or I want to sell a heart.
Well. I don't know how to describe a failed state if this is not failed. It's a shame that it started like a little ball, now it's become a cancerous situation, and it has festered. Well, we have to go on a short break. When we return, Daily Trust last week wrote an article, editorial opinion on Buhari administration, and said the northern part of Nigeria has become Bladadash, and the president boys They rushed to the occasion. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better. The Inside Story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Thank you for watching News Echoes. We're back and our sound is back. I'm so glad you are still watching. The Daily Trust, a well-known national newspaper originating from the northern part of Nigeria, produced a Sunday editorial saying that life has lost meaning in the northern part of Nigeria. And the Buhari boys, they opposed, rushed to the press to say that was lurid political journalism. Shehu Garuba speaking for Mr. President. But let me leave it to our in-house researcher, Nat Iyakwo, to tell us the background and what is going on. Nat, what's this editorial about, and why is the government so jittery about
it? The editorial of the Daily Trust is in a capsule, is talking about the insecurity with particular emphasis in the 19 northern states and in general Nigeria as a country. It's like they went down memory lane, historical perspective, to give an account of how the Buhari administration, especially in the past 6 years, have handled the insecurity. We assume, the Daily Trust assumes that, not only assume, they are aware that there was insecurity before 2015 when Buhari came into government, and he had promised that one of his cardinal point was to fight insecurity and bring back normalcy to the Nigerian government. But Buhari has failed on all accounts, failed woefully. The security situation has gone worse. Bloodletting in the northeast, the Boko Haram bandits taking over 10 local governments and establishing a caliphate in northern Borno. Borno being one of the northern states. Farmers cannot go to their farm. We can recollect the slaughter of 40 farmers who went to harvest their rice. But this same Shehu Garuba said those farmers didn't tell the military they were going to their farms, or they didn't pay the required levy. And so the Daily Trust editorial was more of an wake-up call. It was a wake-up call. Wake up and smell the coffee. But again, as usual, the presidency, Joe Garba, Emi Adesina, and other people rose to the defense of the presidency and telling people that Buhari government, or the way it has handled the security challenges in the country, is the best you can have. And we remember again the government itself saying the Boko Haram have been decimated, they have been technically defeated. But the Daily Trust editorial was saying what they have on ground, it is not true. The president should wake up for the remaining 16, 17 months he has in office.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dr. Sita, if something will permit us, because it's like the connectivity in Nigeria is so pedestrian, and we're having problems with it this morning. And he said instead of the National Assembly to shout and make sure there is correction, they've been given a telephone each. They don't pay for telephone anymore. They don't pay for airtime anymore. So who is going to get things work? Mark, thank you for coming to the rescue. The president's boys, Shehu Garba and Femi Adesina, said it was a lurid political journalism. And I wanted to be very sure of what they meant by lurid. The dictionary definition of lurid says gruesome, horrible, revolting, sensational, shocking. How can anyone describe the position of Daily Trust like life has lost its normal value under Buhari regime, and you consider that as gruesome, as horrible journalism, as revolting journalism? Is that correct?
No, sir. More people are saying more than that even. Pat Utomi, the professor from the business school in Lagos, this morning said more than that. He said Nigeria is not being governed. I'm quoting Pat Utomi. He said Nigeria is not being governed. I mean, they will say whatever they want to say, but that's the fact. We can't have these quagmire, these very horrible situations, and they say the journalists are saying the wrong thing. They don't know what they are saying. They don't understand what they are saying. Our country is in our country has failed, and it's just a tiny string that is holding, for an escalate of something very, very abnormal. So Daily said the right words.
Like Dr. Peter pointed out, we have the story that the Sultan of Sokoto escapes from window as bandits break into state mosque, kidnap 48 worshippers. And they are telling us that is lurid political journalism. What are they going to gain? Are they not seeing what we are seeing? Like Ambassador Nasser.
Because they are surrounded with security. Nobody has penetrated their security. They are safe, sleeping safe, while there are mobile policemen, AD camp, and everything around them. So it has not come to them yet, and it's coming. It's going to hit on each one of those cabals or whatever they are called. Those henchmen.
Please help me out. The ambassadors not said they are deaf, dumb, and blind. Were they planning to capture the Sultan? How much will they put on Sultan's head? I mean, as the Sultan becomes so cheap that they should go to the mosque when he's praying to his God, it's become so cheap that they wanted to capture him. The Sultan is the #1 man of Muslim Islam in Nigeria. He declares whether they have a festive or not and all of that. And now they want to capture him.
The Sultan of Sokoto is a king, is a royal seat, and capturing him will really bring is a big bounty for Sultan. I mean, Sultan money is big one, and they need to do this also. You see, sometimes the enemy wants to put to shame those in power. So from my view, I think they need to do this to make the government know that yes, they are tough and they can get at anybody. So the Sultan would have been a great kidnap package for Christmas, you know, maybe like $1 trillion naira on the Sultan.
Well, Ambassador, now, do you think the government will have resigned if the Sultan was captured? Because that is half of Nigeria captured. One man captured, and all the Muslim Islamic world is finished in Nigeria. Will the government have resigned?
You see, the position of the Sultan of Sokoto is before you can, even if there's attempts to capture him, we can guess where the direction where such attempt is coming from. You remember Dasuki?
Yes.
Dasuki was deposed by the federal government of Nigeria because the way the place works, everybody else will die, and Sultan will live. And so when you have any attempt to go to the mosque to get the Sultan, I think we are not being told truth. Something else is happening behind the scene, or there are signals or bad omens, signals of bad omen. Because if you remember, the present Sultan Sadiq Abubakar II is a retired general. He was a brigadier general before he was picked to be his brother died, and he was told to be the Sultan. He's been a modern Sultan. He's been outspoken. He's liberal, and he one of his best friends, the Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka. So the anybody hearing that, they will say it's just a joke. It's a joke taken too far. We have not had the real and the true story of such a thing. He has been very critical of the government, the federal government of Nigeria, even the president himself. He has kept talking as to why we need to bring an end this insurgency, especially in the north. And he's a man of peace. His thesis when he went to NIPS in Kuru was on peace, peacemaking.
I'm still in awe how they could just attack, and then this discussion we will have to continue another day. This daily trust, and I think what intrigued me most was this denial by Shehu Garba, Femi Adesina, and by implication all of the presidency. Mark, how come they deny this thing instead of them to say they're looking at it, they're calling it lurid political journalism?
Because if they don't deny, their boss will sack them. The boss will say, Shehu Garuba, you joined them, you know. The other man, have you joined them? So they have to play to the plan. And like we said, it will come on them. Dr. Shego, we're not wishing evil here. But you see, what comes around goes around. Why they are bluntly denying everything happening. The other day, they also said Nigerians are wailers. They said some people are wailers. You know, some people are just complaining, wailing. Now, it has not hit them. It's coming. Dr. Yago, they can't escape this. It's nature. Nature, you can't I mean, it happened. Worst things happened to leaders that were like this. I mean, you all know history. Hitler, he came on him. All of Stalin. Who is it that one day it will bounce straight to their face. So
I think to attempt the life of the Sultan of Sokoto, whom all Nigerians revere in his own position, I think is the height of it all. That the Sultan will be worshiping God
and jumping out
yes, in his own domain, worshiping God, and then you now attempt to abduct him. I think is the highest. Is the highest. I mean, no, it can't be worse than this. It cannot be worse than this.
Going to the NDA, the Navy, the military.
Yes, Defense Academy.
To me, that was the height of it. Dr. Ambassador Nat, is that not the height? Because this is like going to the lion's mouth. That's the one that made me know that these guys are serious. These people mean business.
Well, they have said, to what extent, Ambassador Nat, are they the government is a complicit of this thing? To what extent that there are some of them are happy it's happening? Jonathan said so. He said they are in my administration. Boko Haram are inside he said so openly. Now, all of us now know that indeed some people in the government, they are perpetrating it, taking bandits and returning them, taking Boko Haram guys and returning them. So to what extent is the federal government infested?
The Sultan of Sokoto is on the federal government pay. Is a federal civil servant, one of the very high hierarchy, and so nothing will happen to him without the federal government's knowledge, and so it's like an insider's job, like what happened in the NDA. What is coming out now is it was an inside job. Commissioned officers went into that place disguised as bandits, and handsomely they were paid to do that job. I find some of them even being arrested in somewhere like Jos. Air Force personnel were involved in that hatchet job. So for something to happen to Sultan like that, Intel will have got to the federal government. Like what happened in Dasuki's case. In Sokoto, a minister, a serving minister in Abacha's regime was sent to Sokoto for a surveillance. If Sultan is disposed, what will happen? Will the sky fall? And the minister came back and told Buhari, "Give me the assignment. I will do it." And that's exactly what happened.
Okay, we just have to leave it there so that we can take some other topics. It's a shame that the government itself is perpetrating this evil sin. And by the way, there are 48 kidnappers on that day, 48 of them since Sunday. Nobody is talking about them. Now we are reminding the federal government to get these 48 released, if they will ever do. But if that is part of their plan, time will tell when Nigerians will rise up one day and say, enough is enough. Ambassador Nat, this story has been on for several years. Ikoyi registry, is it a good place to get married or not? The Federal High Court now decided that it is not a particularly good place to get married because the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says that only local governments are given permission to wed people, and of course the courts and the mosque, but not the federal ministry registry. And yet, so the Federal High Court said any marriage done under federal ministry registry is illegal, and secondly, all those places should be shut down immediately. And all of a sudden, the Ministry of Interior came out to say that, Ministry of Internal Affairs came out to say that, oh, that's the wrong interpretation. of the judgment and that they're not going to have it. Please tell us more.
Well, there are so many other marriage registries in Lagos State and other states of Nigeria. But I think at one time it became a status symbol for you to carry Ikoyi marriage certificate and flash it.
Yeah.
But strictly speaking, Nigerians, sometimes we know the right thing, but we decide to do the wrong things. The Ikoyi registry, being managed by the Federal Ministry of Interior. The Interior Minister or his officials know that marriages by statute, by the Constitution, it is not conducted in a facility by the Federal Ministry of Interior. The local government have that constitutional charge and responsibility to conduct marriages, naming ceremonies, burials, baths, and so many other things. You bring it very close to the people for convenience and for other exigencies. So but now, most Nigerians didn't even know, will not know that the Federal Ministry of Interior shouldn't be conducting such affairs. But the Federal Ministry of Interior is more important than the revenue coming into their coffers. And when if you put a searchlight, if there is a forensic screening today, where that revenue going to? It might be ending up in private pockets in the officials of that registry, and nothing is going to the Federal Ministry of Interior or the Ministry of Finance.
Let me quickly read out one thing we are getting from Lagos, I believe. Good day, gentlemen. I believe we all had a pleasant week. Happy to be on board again, getting quality analysis of the happenings globally. Kudos to you all. That's from Yetunde Merriman Johnson. Thank you very much, madam. Now, the marriages that have taken place in all these federal ministry registries that have now been quashed, are those marriages standing or not?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the law should be interpreted, those marriages stand. They stand, because the law should not take a retrospective effect. You don't backdate judgments, even though
this is not a backdating of judgment. This is whether something illegal was made 5 years ago or not. It's not that they are nullifying something. They are not nullified. They're just saying illegality was perpetrated. And the reason I'm asking is that there is the issue of inheritance. If one of them should die and the other living one wants to claim inheritance, and the members of the family say, you were never married, you married at Ikoyi registry, what is going to happen?
Well, they go to none of us on this panel is illegal luminary. They go to court.
Mark, and unfortunately, you are not a lawyer. What do you think will happen now? If so one of them will walk out and said, I'm going to get 2 other wives. Let's say the man said, I'm going to get 2 other wives. What will then happen? And I mean, the one at home can't say you can't get it because we were never married. We were just partners. That is the implication now.
What I'm laughing is, like Dr. Nat said, Ambassador, there was a time the Ikoyi registry marriage was like a trend. If you've not done your marriage at the Ikoyi registry, you're not a big boy. You're not in the society. And all of a sudden, this whole complications have arisen from it. Anyway, the Minister of Interior this morning did a revamping of that statement and said it's not correct, that somebody just incited that statement and they never said anything like that. So we hope it's what they say.
There is no hope there. That Minister of Interior came out to say some ladder dash doesn't mean we're going to accept it. The Federal High Court said they should close them down not just that they were illegal, but they should all be closed down. How can the Ministry of Internal Affairs now be stronger than the court? I mean, help me out.
Minister of Interior. Yes, as press people, as media people, what we follow, we follow what comes out as statements.
Yes, as press people, we look at it and say, what is the constitutional rule? If the Ministry of Interior disagrees with the Federal High Court judgment, he knows what to do, isn't it?
Yes,
he knows what to do. He should go to an appellate court to nullify what the Federal High Court has said. That's the normal thing. We're not zombies because we just take what it says, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I expect Aregbesola to do better than that if he's being represented. I think it was said by his permanent secretary. They should put him in place. His permanent secretary knows better that when you disagree with what the Federal High Court has said, you go to the Federal Court of Appeal. No, we are not stupid in this country, are we? No, I mean, that he has said it, I was annoyed.
The hilarious part of it is what you just said. Some marriages, so what it means now is all the marriages that have been done there so far are
I mean, what I'm imagining is that someone who married on at the Korean registry, it was the best marriage on earth. Now, one of them could say, I'm going to have another husband and I don't have to divorce. And I'm going to have another wife and I don't have to divorce because we were never married. I mean, I want to agree with Nigerians that traditional weddings are well-recognized weddings. They are recognized in marriage. So if you have a traditional marriage and without Ikoyi or church or mosque, it is recognized as long as you have photographs to prove it, that the two families came together and you have, for you to nullify it, you have to go to the court. I know that one as a minister of the gospel. But now, to move further from that, if someone should say, prove it, we were just partners, and then it has the implication of inheritance, it has the implication of names and the rest. We need a further clarification. It is not easy for one permanent secretary to think he can bamboozle us, especially when the Federal High Court said, close down all those federal registries. He said so categorically. So what are you telling us? If you disagree, then go to the appellate court. Ambassador, did you want to say?
Ambassador Nat has something to say. Ambassador
Yes.
Nat,
what do you have to say, Ambassador Nat?
Well, I think I have said what I have to say.
Okay, then.
Nigeria is governed by laws. And so whatever pronouncement is made should be within the confines of the rule of law. Even means getting to the Supreme Court for interpretation.
We want to thank all our viewers and we want to go on a short break. When we return, My Participation by Baba Besi Akonde, which was a book which was launched recently and it has been going into serious discussions. And some said, oh, this is a launch pad for Tinubu, but some people said he just lost it for Tinubu. My participation or my distraction, you decide. We'll be right back. Welcome back to News Echoes. We give you latest information, facts, and analysis. But at the end of the day, we are giving you a position to have an informed opinion, and we are glad you are watching. Um, we have from Mrs. Yetunde Johnson. He says, I never knew about the marriage registry saga, even though funny. It is definitely not a funny matter. So why has it taken so long for the High Court to realize the blunder? So what next? Well, the reason why it has taken so long was somebody took the, I think it was Etiosa local government that took the Federal Ministry of Interior to the court, and the judgment was just rolled out last week, and that's why it has taken so long. Without anyone taking them to court, they will just be getting on with it. Now, um, Ambassador, now please inform us my participation or my dissipation. Which one? Baba Konde's a book. Tell us the background. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chief Bisi Akande, or Chief Papa Bisi Akande, needs no introduction in the political terrain of Nigeria. He's come a long way by age and experience, and he decided to put all that together in what I could call an autobiography, which turned out to be more of a campaign manifesto. Last week, Thursday, President Buhari was invited to Lagos to do two things. But what most Nigerians officially will note was to go and commission locally built naval boats by the Nigerian Navy. And then thereafter, he moved to launching Baba Kande's book, My Participations. But it looks like now my participation is the one everybody is talking about. Nobody's talking about the naval boats again. But I will have told the naval boats, the naval boats was more important, cannot even be compared to any book written by anybody. But anyway, when a book is written by autobiography of those high-profile, visible politicians, it gathers a crowd from all spectrum. So because we had all the politicians you can think of from all the parties gathering in Lagos to launch my participation. There was a book reviewer, one journalist, Obi Okechukwu, and then President Buhari spoke. Baba Kande also spoke on his book. And from what one could glean from what was said out there loud, it looks Buhari is somebody that cannot be trusted. He's not honest. He's not reliable.
And Buhari was sitting down.
Quietly, he was quietly looking at them because he became irrelevant in that place. Nobody took note of his presence, although all the protocols were observed and he was recognized. But what was being said was not what I'm sure didn't go down well with Buhari, because Baba Kande said Buhari promised to make Baba Kande said Buhari promised to make Tinubu the vice president from 2015. But these promises were not kept. The promises were not kept. Instead, somebody else was brought forward as the vice president. And Baba Kande also lambasted or lampooned veteran politicians like Papa Adebanjo, Obasanjo, and others. He said they betrayed the Yoruba race or the Yoruba people. And he said so many other things. And he said Tinubu is the person who has stood still, he has stood firm, he has stood great. And so by implication, if Buhari could not make Tinubu vice president, how do they not think that Tinubu will get Buhari's support in 2023? So that's the long and short of that book.
Thank you very much.
There have been so many reactions on the book.
That's
I
right.
haven't
Go
seen,
ahead, please.
I have not seen any reaction in support of Baba Akande's claims. Nobody, I have not seen anybody claiming that he wrote the right thing.
Now, Oshibajo appears to have used some other people to say that Tinubu did not put him there, but that it was just a special decision. According to this story, 3 names were prepared to be given to Buhari when he came out to be the presidential candidate of APC. They gave him Mamora, they gave him Oyinlola, and they gave him Oshibajo. And by the time the 3 names were given to Tinubu to choose one so that they would take to Buhari, Tinubu was said to have rejected Oshibajo because Oshibajo was the one opposing Muslim ticket, just like Obasanjo opposed Muslim ticket. And so at that time, Oshibajo was not asking for vice presidency. And then Mamura, because of Lagos politics, Tinubu just said this one can't be there. Don't forget that Mamura became a senator for one term and then he was removed. Fine gentleman, very knowledgeable, medical doctor, helped people in his constituency, but he was rejected by the Tinubu clan. And for Oyinlola was a no-no. It was Tinubu, but Buhari will not spoil his chances with a Muslim ticket. So on the long run, eventually, Amosun stepped in and persuaded Tinubu to choose Oshibajo. And as soon as he said, okay, then he didn't have a choice. Then they took that name to Buhari, saying Oshibajo is your vice president. And as far as Buhari was concerned, you brought one name, and it's fine by me. And that is Oshibajo's position that is now being pushed out into the society. But we know that there are other versions of how Oshibajo was there. And Baba Konde's version is now there. And there are other versions of other things. Do you think Obasanjo is going to react with the kind of paint that Baba Konde has brush he has painted him?
Well, Obasanjo is the type of person you may not be able to predict what he's going to say. He will just keep quiet. He will just let everybody a fool. Silence is the best answer to the fool. So because we know the efforts, the maneuvering, the pressure Obasanjo put in support of Buhari, because definitely he rejected Jonathan's continuation. He shredded his PDP membership card, and yeah, so he was pushing Buhari's candidacy. So for anybody like Baba Kande to come and say Obasanjo didn't support Buhari or didn't support Tinubu is not here, is not there.
Okay, let's talk about Tinubu. 2 days ago or so, he said, if my people who are called by my name can present me, I will run for presidency. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. But again, he must be a very foolish man.
Why do you say he's a foolish man? The man is going to be the next president, isn't he?
Well, we've had very foolish and stupid presidents. How on earth can somebody called Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu come out and the whole world that he's not interested in the presidency of Nigeria? But if his people call him, if they invite him, he will even talk of considering it or consulting with people, and then he will come and make a decision. So what have bodies like Swagger been doing What have been a mandate group? What have they been doing? Have they just been making noise or just collecting his money and enjoying his money and is not interested in the presidency of Nigeria? So these are
Those
some of the
mandate
questions.
group, I don't know. I don't know this mandate group. There are some places and they are so confident of themselves. Anywhere they introduce Tinubu in the open, have you seen them what they do? All of them will
They
stand up.
think
It's only Tinubu that is expected to stand up. All of them will stand up. Before Tinubu will move, all of a sudden you hear their song, on your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall. I don't understand. But what are the chances of Tinubu winning presidential candidates in the APC?
well, once again, the Buhari boys have come out to say he should forget about the presidency of Nigeria. He shouldn't even be dreaming, not talk about it, because I think he's had his participation. Tinubu
What
has
if he
had.
rolls out the hard currency? You know, APC will get all his people together to go and vote, and then he brings out his hard currency. You think that will not do it for him, especially if he will compete against people like Kayode Fayemi, Rotimi Amechi? How much do those ones have to compete to contest with him?
The trend is they collect your money and they don't vote for you.
This one is dollars. You collect, you die. If you don't vote, you collect, you
Even
die. You have to think twice.
if,
You are from Zamfara. You are from Saleko. You are from Abakaliki. You are a PC candidate, APC voter within that enclave, and then you collect $10,000. You're not going to vote. You'll be in serious trouble, isn't it?
even if it's going to be £10,000 sterling, as they were advertising him in our underground stations here in London, that doesn't change. It doesn't change things. It doesn't change things. When the reality comes to reality, the Nigerian politics, we know what last minute can mean.
I agree with you. Let's assume he's chosen as the presidential candidate of APC. Will that open the door for Atiku if Atiku happens to be the presidential candidate of PDP?
Yes, if as some of the northern groups are saying, if it's going to be determined by the number of votes and the geographical coverage of Nigeria, Tinubu might find himself only limited to the southwest geopolitical zone.
This Baba Akande's book, My Participation, has it really helped Tinubu like he was planning it to help him? Or has it destroyed his chances? Because the book was just to eulogize the importance of Tinubu in becoming the president of Nigeria. But will that thwart his effort from people like Obasanjo, Oyinlola, and the rest?
Well, I'm sure before Baba Akande pushed his participation into the public, and because of his proximity and closeness with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Tinubu will have scanned that book and encouraged Akande to publish the book because it will be to his advantage. I mean, he is Tinubu's advantage, and but as things will turn out, it seems it's backlashing. It seems it's not working out as planned. Not working out because the same thing happened to Lai Mohammed, the current Minister of Information and Culture. He wrote a book. He wrote a book during that time he was seeking the governorship of Kwara State. Overnight, they had to tear some pages of the book because Bola Ahmed Tinubu didn't like. Tinubu didn't like some of the content of the pages, so they overnight. What's his name now? Lai Mohammed was told to remove the pages, and he lost the Kwara State gubernatorial elections.
Okay, we'll just leave it like that. Whoever wants to be the next president of Nigeria should be ready to move things around. And what Dr. Osita said earlier on, that the word change must come into our dictionary now. Even though politicians say change, 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 beyond saying it, we want to see mindsets ready to change and change for a better position. Let's take our last story for the day. The Emir of Daura, a 90-year-old man, has just married a 20-year-old girl. And I want you to have a look at this picture. Studio, show us the newly wedded couple in town. Baba just got married. His name is Farouk. The Emir. Ah, come on. Now look at the 90-year-old man. He's looking well, I must confess. He looks like a 69-year-old. At least he has not taken away from his age. That we should clap for him. And we understand this lady, the 20-year-old bride, is called Aisha Iro Maikano. Look at how beautiful she is. The man was born in 1921. The emir married the young lady at a low-key ceremony in Katsina. The two are said to have engaged in a brief courtship before the marriage. The monarch was said to have paid 1 million naira dowry to the bride, who is the daughter of Fagachin Katsina Iro Maikano. Sources said the serial polygamist has married not less than 4 young wives in the last 6 years. In a short video sent in by the African Community News, the jubilant bride was seen dancing to the tune of a traditional music. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 20-year-old Aisha, and she seems to be very happy with her newly beloved husband, Ambassador Nan. Is this the cultural thing, or what do you say? Let me take on Mark.
Yeah.
Mark,
Oh,
what,
wow.
what is your take on this one?
Yes. I mean, the emir has that means
He has got eyes, hasn't he?
he has got beautiful, strong eyes. I mean, look at this beautiful young lady. This is the girl is probably like would have been like a great grand or maybe great granddaughter, you know,
of this young emir.
yes. But let's say I think well, if she's 21, that means
She's
she's
20. Why are you giving her one more extra year? She's 20.
20. But that
Yeah.
means, I mean, 18 is the consent year. 18 is the legal year for marriages and all that. So if she's
The
above,
parents are in support. They took 1 million naira. But seriously, Mark, let's between you and I, this
yes,
lady, given the value of naira, don't you think she deserves more than 1 million naira?
well, it depends, Dr. Shago. 1 million naira could just be the dowry. You know, a lot of things come along with it too. The dowry is one thing. Now, the Hausa tradition, Ambassador Nat will attest to that.
But Lagos boys will be prepared to give more than 1 million naira.
Yes, no, but we're talking of dowry first. You know, dowry is a stipulated amount. It's a stipulated amount you pay. So, but many more things come along with that. You have a car, you have houses, you have.
Oh, you mean the dad could have taken a car along with it?
Yes, clothes and so many other. No, I'm talking of other things that would have been attached to the what would have been given to the girl and the family.
But so, she's looking très chic, isn't it? The French would say she's looking très chic, and this is a Fulani girl, obviously, which means the Fulanis have something to offer Nigeria apart from abducting and abducting. I mean, this is something that they should offer Abuja and Lagos.
Yes, no, from time. Let's leave the very negative side. The Fulani tribe in Nigeria are one beautiful.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree completely.
Yes, look at Buhari. Buhari is good looking, you know, but
I don't know about that.
I mean, they have majority of their ladies very beautiful, beautiful creatures.
Like the Lagos boys will say, handsome girl or beautiful girl, no pimples. Look at her cheeks, look at her smile, but she's happy. The report says she was happy, jubilant about her new husband, and
Because
I mean,
she knows the Papa will soon kick the bucket, and she will inherit so many things.
no, she's not the only one. She's not the only one. She's just one of many, and Ambassador Nat, what's your take on this beautiful chick, Tre chick? What do you think?
Well, she's just conforming to the culture of
Yes.
that place on the issue of marriage.
Mm.
Because the emir may not even know what is going on. His officials, the emir's officials, will just tell him, "Oh, we saw this man's daughter, and it seems she will be a nice wife to the emir's wife," and that is the end of the story.
You know what
So
you are saying is in the Bible. They saw Sarah, the wife of Abraham, and they told the king, that woman is beautiful. She should be your wife. You know, that's exactly what's in the Bible.
yes, yes. So they all they will now do is to do all the necessary arrangements. The details will be left to the court, the palace officials. Even that 1 million was from the officials, not from the emir. And the lady Aisha is now happy. Her status has been enhanced. She's now the emir's wife, no matter what number in ranking or in hierarchy. Her family, her father and her family will also, their status will be upgraded with so
Do
many
you think she's
things
deep down
following.
happy? Would she not prefer a younger man than 90-year-old? Yes, status is fine. Nice status is fine, but would she not have preferred a younger man driving her around in his a Jaguar, if possible, or even Ford, whatever?
You'll be surprised that it is the palace officials who will enjoy her. The
Are you
the
serious?
emir is being used as
Conduit pass.
it's being used. The officials, the lady belongs to the officials of the palace.
That's another twist to the whole story.
Another twist.
It's another twist to the whole story. But gentlemen, not to be accused of being male chauvinists, all of us. Don't you think the Fulanis have something to give to the rest of Nigeria? I mean, look at that chick. You think they don't have something to give Abuja boys or Abakaliki boys or the Lagos boys? I mean, let's forget about guns for a while.
Dr. Shagun, yes, there's a rave going on, like I had. Igbo young boys, not Biafra-minded ones, not the IPOB-minded ones. The Igbos young men are going for the Hausa ladies. This is
the Hausa or Fulani ladies. This is Fulani
plus Fulani plus the other tribes in the north of Nigeria. And yes, it's a new thing going on now. They are taking wives there, and it's playing out well.
I mean, Nat, where is the origin of these Fulani girls? They look so light in complexion, handsome boy, no pimples, and all the rest. And you think they will want to marry from the south, the way? Because I know the southern boys, they don't have time for. They like beautiful chicks. What do you say?
Well, they may like the marriage, but there will be crisis. This so different socio-cultural background, the rules and the regulations, the do's and the do-nots will not really work out very well. We have seen marriages breaking down because of socio-cultural differences. that are brought into the marriage and it doesn't hold.
I don't know if any of you have watched this film, Tenants of the House, produced by Kunle Afolayan, and it shows a member of the House of Representatives falling in love with a Fulani girl. And the Fulani girl said, yes, you can come and marry me, but you have to go through the shashi, which is the beating of a man before he becomes the husband. They want to see if he can withstand the weather of life. Will he give up his life for the lady? And he was thoroughly beaten, and it's not to shout, it's not to cry, it's just to receive the beating and beating and beating. And this man was nearly killed because and that is the culture of the Fulanis before you can marry their woman. On that note, Mark, do you want a Fulani girl?
Yes.
How
do you know?
Can you withstand the beating?
I will take the beating, but I hope it will be it will be at least
you don't determine it. Ambassador, I know you are from Niger State and you have made your own choice. But were you to be given a choice before you got married many years ago? Will you have chosen Aisha or someone looking like Aisha?
Some of us, it's like you don't have a choice. The family will choose and confirm.
So if the family should choose you as someone that looks like Aisha, you won't complain.
Well, what could also happen is you're opening a fiesta or opening a window to so many things to come in. You can now talk of having 2 wives, 3 wives, or 4.
Oh,
which is not bad. Which is not a bad.
Which is not what? It's not bad.
Yes.
But Mark, if you choose Aisha, you must have the other room where you will keep her because she's used to the other room, and there are so many things happening in the other room. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers want to thank you for today. It's been a wonderful discussion. I want to thank my colleagues all the way from Abuja, Dr. Sita Aniemeka, who had to go to attend to some other issues. I want to thank my friend in Milan, Mark Godwin, and of course, our in-house researcher east of London. My name is Shegun Johnson, and also we thank the crew, and we thank you, our viewers. We'll be right back next Wednesday, bringing you the latest, and those who are getting married and those who are not getting married. Until then, we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.